et glacé. Et jusque dans ma chambre, il pénètre notre chambre où meurt le passé. Je suis seule ce soir avec mes rêves. Je suis seule ce soir sans ton amour. Le jour tombe, ma joie s'achève. Tout se brise dans mon cœur lourd. Je suis seule ce soir avec ma peine. J'ai perdu l'espoir de ton retour. Et pourtant, je t'aime encore et pour toujours. Ne me laisse pas seule sans ton amour.
You know that infatuation frame of mind? That little falling in love every day, just from a glance. Uzes in the south of France is beautiful and a great place to eat, and it's great to return to a place that you know. But it's never quite the same revisiting an infatuation, a time and a place that you loved. Recreating. This trip took in the familiar and extended to new horizons, breaking the mystery of what I do and don't know about the coast of the South of France. Taking in much of Languedoc-Roussillon, but not going Catalan too far. It's the Corbusier parts, the architect, that I wanted to, and most of that is sort of the opposite direction. Clothes, there is a link. Clothes are a bit like makeup. Without them, it's easier to fault find. Fault finding is easier in the nude. As an album cover I had almost played out. The link here, UNESCO, Le Corbusier, Josephine Baker, and Jane Drew, an architect that I was critiqued by at university. The architect Le Corbusier, many of his buildings are now UNESCO World Heritage protected buildings, and a tourism thing in themselves, but I think we'll have to cover that some other time. Today more bucketed and spade, even though the bucket may be filled with triple cooked chips with aioli mayonnaise. The White Van Man, the Builders 3, all in a row on the front seat, cheek by jowl, beep and call to the long-haired beauty walking down the road. Cheltenham, the Cotswolds, used to be known for having much more attractive women than other towns locally. The Builders 3, not that far away from what I meant by falling in love a little bit every day, at a glance. That long-haired beauty walking down the street, maybe a man, not a girl, we're beeping out. Revelatory discovery, one of the three is always mortified that perhaps this means he's gay. One of the other three has the glaring look like, you've got long hair, you must be gay. So, born of the 50s. As I once said to an architectural lecturer that almost got me chucked off the course. But people have been had long hair since the 60s, 70s. As a woman's hairdresser, my dad always cut our hair long from childhood. Vain, but he was going to be a big thing and moved to Switzerland. But that never happened. I'll come back to that. The architectural critique at university. a design project that you've pinned up on the wall and you've given your all emotionally to create, and you've spent a very late night or an all-nighter to get it as perfected as you can. I didn't fall foul of it, but a lot of people were crying their eyes out if they got harsh critique. And the next day, in front of a crowd of peers, finished and tired, and a lot weren't interested in an 80-year-old visiting, but certainly all the lecturers had it as a very big deal. I considered myself lucky to be having my work critiqued by Jane Drew. She'd had as an architect herself, she'd had an affair or a relationship with Le Corbusier. She was a living connection to a dead legend, of more interest to me almost in a way at the time. Josephine Baker was a saucy dancer from the 1930s as well, that they had on student posters. Was an image, a showgirl. He'd certainly been to see her dancing, but was there anything more than that to it? You have to wonder. More than amused? But the 80-year-old wanted to be liked. She had a definite twinkle in her eye when she was talking to me, and it all went well. She could sort of understand where I was coming from. A critique is often more of an interrogation into your life rather than the work itself and how it works. Afterwards, I somehow attracted a small crowd of lecturers to ask me what I thought of the woman, the guest critique. Spotlight on you. I was wondering how old she is. She's still with us, isn't she? I thought she was being generous. I thought she was being encouraging. I definitely thought she had a twinkle in her eye. I said to the looking at the construction lecturer, who chuckled to himself, which unfortunately encouraged me a little bit more. I felt he was putting words in my mouth a little bit, but I think the twinkle one was just encouragement and best wishes. But to talk a bit like a builder for a minute, I couldn't help but think, hey, I could do what Corb has done here. Corb, that's what Le Corbusier fans that know him call him. You wish, says the construction lecturer architecturally speaking. I couldn't help but think that the twinkle meant that she was looking for a toy boy stroke carer. You know, that 60-year age difference. But she did have more going for her than Josephine Baker, obviously, who was cremated or in the ground. There is a link to the south of France here. Unité de Habitation. There's one in Paris, one in Nantes, in the west of France, and one in Marseille. There are actually quite a few UNESCO Corbusier from the 1930s, often reinforced concrete creations, to be added to the UNESCO Pont de Gard visit. Cité radieuse, Marseille. La Maison du Fada, as the local dialect critiques the 337 flats, as Nutter's House. Based on Le Corbusier's modular, there's La Cabane, Roquebrune, Cap Martin, and there's E27, where he painted the murals in violation of the other architect's design. Ronchamp, we've been to, Notre Dame and Holt, Sainte Marie de la Tourette, Lyon, which is on the way if you're driving from Northern Europe, halfway. Elsewhere, Pessac, Cité Fougères, and Firminy, Church of Saint-Pierre. He's done other work in Paris as well, of course, India, Chandigarh. But my chalet is halfway up France on the border of the Oui and the Hoc. On the border of Vichy during the Second World War. It was an Italian area. It was an Italian area until just a generation before the First World War. Not far from the border with Italy and not far from the border with Switzerland. I spend a lot of my working hours in Geneva. It could be said, as a motor show sort of coins was afraid. It's hard work having a Brexiteer brother and his partner visiting at Christmas. I asked, would she have gone for him if he was Swiss? A pair of us were almost brought up as Swiss when he was over here in Cornwall, and would there have been that twinkle in your eye at the party post-pregnancy? That twinkle of postnatal release? A twinkle of trouble to wind up his wife? The home wrecker had established more of a home for a brother who wanted one, more than he had, or his wife wanted for a decade or two. The twinkle of infatuation is a powerful thing.